Reality show with your host Matt McKinley. Whoa.
Hey guys, it's Matt. Definitely need the Fish in a Barrel reality show, which would be a variety show. After the free voice video through no video on Monday, I'll catch up on my emails, try to go through some links, some things people have sent me. I don't even know what to say anymore. There's what we consider to be a real world here, our personal reality bubble. It's still very stable. It's still very normal, what's around us as we walk down the street, for the most part. The screen reality, to me, is a different reality. It seems like we're all here together, and it tries to grow and expand out. And it has been successful in getting more and more millions of real people engrossed in it, almost like a conscious decision to switch over to its reality. And as we roam around YouTube and social media, it is the invader. And to me, it's like, or is literally two different realities. The whole world, broke down 10 years ago, but it's a truck and tractor pull. It continues to break down into exponential pace, but it's not the world. It is screen reality, the invader. I don't. It's so mind-boggling. It's so absurd at this point. And for the truthers to chase, I'm trying to come up with theories, at least talk about two different realities. There's the screen. It lures us into the ship of fools. For the truthers to chase the same old breadcrumbs, oh my God. I don't know where this is going to go, but there's a lot of just crap for the variety show I want to show you. And I'm going to do some different things this week, completely different. My first gripe among many in this variety show. See the words "and fans are"? I'll show you a clip. It doesn't really matter what the video's about. Every video has somebody talking with the damn text in English as they're talking. When did the world collectively think this was a good idea? It drives me absolutely crazy.
Fans are recognizing me in the parking lot because people are that plugged in. He's like, it's different. And again, you and I, we live here. We see it year round. We went to school here, so we know the ins and outs of this place. And
to me, guys, the Not Milk loves the billions of videos that probably exist now where an English speaker is speaking to an English-speaking audience, but they're scrolling text in English underneath the words that they're speaking or coming out of their mouth as they're speaking. Could you imagine if I started doing that in these presentations? Could you imagine anything more obnoxious? So there's no need for translation. It's not like somebody doing a stove video and, Russian stoves. Oh, my goodness, it's giving me the English underneath as they're going, cha-ta-da-ta-da, das vidanya, whatever. I'd love that for my stove videos. But let me get this straight. You're speaking in English to English speakers, but you're putting the words underneath in English. Don't you get the sense that the Not Milk really loves this? Because it potentially is a way to not just, maybe when you hear somebody speaking in English, the words, because we've been trained to listen to people as they speak to us over the course of our entire lives, maybe it goes into a certain part of the frontal lobes or the mind that the Not Milk hopefully doesn't have full control over. For those of the ship of fools, it probably does. But this maybe gets to, it's getting to a different part of the brain, the part of the brain that has learned to read. And this is to me, I don't mean to go here every single time. The Not Milk loves this. This is going to sound really crazy to anybody that stumbled upon this video. To me, it's sinister. There's something really that doesn't sit right with me. I guess I'm not going to get to the bottom of it here. But this is all Not Milk. It stinks of Not Milk. And the ship of fools and everybody on the frequency just follows along. I understand Campbell at Autodidactic. He'll show you a video as he's discussing a world in freefall, and the video happens to have that. I'm not going to get on him or anything. But in terms of those creators making videos where they're scrolling the English, this is pure Not Milk. Well, let me just go on to another topic. I'm not going to get to the bottom of it here. Guys, let me come back for 30 seconds. It's going to drive some people crazy that they have no idea what that video was or what she was talking about. She's a Penn State football blogger or writer talking about new recruits coming in from high school are immediately recognized or something in the parking lot. In the recruit, where the old days you wouldn't even know who's playing on the team until they became a senior. Everything is drama today. Everything is turned up to 10. So just another 30 seconds, and nobody wants to talk about Penn State football, but nothing's normal. When I went to Penn State, I went up in 1988. The first year with Joe Paterno, they were as bad as they've been in 30 years. It was a 500 season. I think 6 losses. I think 5 or 6 losses. I mean, it was, but it was people talking around campus, but it wasn't, the drama wasn't there. It's like, is Joe getting too old? And okay, fine. And we got better as I became a senior. Anyway, now it's a meltdown. Fire James Franklin, and it's just all thousands of videos about it, and it's Penn State in free fall, and it's just everything in this reality. Forget the specific example. Everything per the Not Milk has, if there's a chance to turn the volume up to 10, it does that. And if the people follow along, it's of their own doing and making.
China, whose holiday started 2 days earlier than ours, is currently waging a war against crowds. All the famous tourist destinations across the country are packed with people, leaving no room to step, turning travel into a grueling experience.
Finally outside, but it's still the same chaos.
Many people are around, so don't stop. Keep moving quickly.
Even if you want to hurry, you can't help being pushed along and jostled by the crowd. The Chinese government estimated that a total of 2.3 billion trips would be made during this 8-day National Day holiday. And, as if proving it, crowds have brought cities across the country to a standstill. At the Great Wall of China, one of Beijing's top attractions, people are tightly packed together.
On many highways, everything was so backed up, it just came to a stop. This guy, he had his fishing equipment. This is what they're presenting is real. And I'm sure this is real. He got stuck on a bridge. The car stopped moving. He was on a bridge. He took his fishing gear out and started fishing. Caught a fish he caught a fucking fish off the bridge. I guess back to the original picture here. This woman, I guess she just got out and decided to sell Skittles. Just going door to door, but in this case, car door to car door, knocking on the window. You want to buy Skittles? Anybody want Skittles? Anybody in there? The population of China, when we talk about, have to do this very sensitively, very carefully. We talk about the download, the frequency. This population may lead what you call the world or the earth, in the flat plane, whatever, however you see it. This population, I think, leads in terms of what we would call the download. Did anybody think that it might not be a good idea to travel? And anybody sitting on their couch say, I don't think we should go take advantage of this holiday, honey. Unless you want to sit on a highway for 16 hours and the Great Wall may be kind of crowded. Let's just stay home and do it some other time. No, it's this. Go ahead, Matt, say it, but we know where you're going with this. Herd mentality download. May I have your attention, please, Chinese crowd of travelers. May I have your attention? AI, translate this to Chinese, what is it, Mandarin and Cantonese, as I'm saying it. There's a Ford Explorer, a lime green Ford Explorer out in the parking lot from Beijing Motors. Somebody left their lights on. If that's you, get out of line and turn off your lights before your battery goes dead. Also, the McDonald's in the far northwest corner is now open for business. You cleaned out all the hamburger patties by 11 a.m. They have more hamburger patties. The far northwest corner has the McDonald's. Guys, I didn't mention, according to these news stories, this started 4 or 5 days ago. I don't know what national holiday it is, but somewhere in this mess, there's a few American tourists that didn't check the holiday schedule, and they're out there in the middle. They're out there in the middle of the Great Wall in this mess, going, Jack, is it always? Should it be this crowded? Is it always like this? Well, say they billions of people here. I think it's always like this, Agnes. I don't know, Jack. I think we picked the wrong time to visit. What is this? I don't feel comfortable around all these people. They're pushing and shoving. We need to go to the American consulate. Last image before we go on to something else. Look, I'm aware of not milk tactics. I'm sure it's overhyped to a degree. If you went out there and chose that weekend to visit Shanghai as an American or British tourist, you probably picked the wrong weekend. But it's probably not quite as bad, of course, as these stories are saying. I mean, look at this. 1.87 billion people will travel by car during this year's national holiday. That's not even possible. What's the population number on the entire country? I haven't looked, but it's not. No, 1.87 billion people will not travel by car during this year's national holiday. If the whole world had the Chinese national holiday, the whole world had the noodle holiday, there wouldn't be 1.87 billion people traveling. Okay, I understand. I'm aware of not milk tactics. Who you talking to? I'm sure it's not fun if you pick that weekend, but it's not as bad as they say. This is just what the Not Milk likes to do. A quick note to those in Truth Research that want me to talk about population and false population numbers at this time. I just want to say a few things about that. Over the years, we've encountered different aspects of the truther Gestapo. We have the splat turfers, and if you say, if you even suggest that it could be multiple things at the same time, they don't like that. What other elements of, we've had the trans Paco Taco Paco Paco army, where if you don't say that every single woman in a Hollywood movies actually a you know what? If you don't say every single one is packing, then you're not down with us. You're not one of us. See, they take it a bit too far. And there's another element inside the Truth Gestapo is the population people. Matt, you better talk about how there's not really 7 or 8 billion people in this earth. There's more like not even 1 billion. It's all false. You know what? See, that's part of the whole not milk trick too. Every single rabbit hole leads to more and more conspiracy. It's a conspiracy that never ends, goes on and on and on. That's false world. If that's your thing and you investigate for weeks and weeks and months and years how there couldn't possibly be this many hundreds of millions here and this Chinese city couldn't really have 30 million, sorry, not 30 billion. Next week there'll be a Chinese city with 30 billion. This week it's just 40 million. If that's your thing, you're falling for the trick. You know what? Maybe there aren't as many people as they say here. There probably isn't. So what? So what? How does that create a whole facet of Truth Gestapo? I have no idea. Hey, what y'all doing out here sitting on this lawn? Why is such a big crowd? Y'all get stuck on the highway, come out here? It's what? It's a concert. Y'all waiting for a concert to start out here with your masks on? What is it? Whitney Houston Tribute Band? Whitney Houston Tribute Band? What? And Britney Spears, egregiously overweight Britney Spears, or the real Britney Spears, not hologram, is going to perform for you? And a George Michael hologram. Oh my God. I'm glad I stumbled upon this hill. Make room. Move over. Move your noodles and shit over. I'm going to put my blanket down here and watch this Whitney Houston shit too. Now, let's look at the latest not milk distraction created for the sports world. Mark Sanchez of USC, Eagles, and Jets quarterback fame stabbed but charged with felony. If Pat McAfee is talking about it, then it must be true. Right now, to me, this seems like another interesting example of, even if it's real, it's fake. Now, for those of you that don't know, let me do 45 seconds or less. Mark Sanchez seemed to have recovered from his embarrassment of his NFL playing days and the famous butt fumble. Just some really pathetic things that people laughed about for decades, it seems like, in terms of what Mark Sanchez did on the field. So then now he's on Fox, or he's an analyst, and he's pretty good. He's pretty good in the booth, and it seems like he's shed all that past embarrassment until, what happened over the past weekend or a few days ago? Mark Sanchez came out of a hotel drunk. And I'll try to be 30 seconds or less, guys. This story is just ridiculous. But again, it could be, even if it's real, it's fake. Some big truck was parked where he needed to get his car out or something. It doesn't matter. And then the driver of the truck was a 69-year-old. They're important to stress that. And Sanchez was a little drunk, and he said, "You can't leave your truck there." And I'm not even joking about this, guys. This is how it went down. I'll just try to do it in a little bit more entertaining fashion. These are the facts of the case. The 69-year-old driver said, "I'm just delivering vegetable oils and shit for the restaurant or the hotel restaurant." It was about vegetable oil. This is not a joke. And Sanchez says, "Yeah, I need to get my car out. You got to move that." So Sanchez started to get more and more belligerent, and then he climbed into the cab, grabbed the guy. "I told you got to move this truck out of here, man. I got a hot date with a woman or a man. It doesn't matter. It's a hot date." He climbed in, it took the guy, threw him up against the wall. And the guy says, "This is my big Mark. I'm a 69-year-old man. This was an ex-NFL player. I feared for my life. So I took out my you-know-what, and I started doing the old Halloween motion. Beep, 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 beep. Whatever. I can't. Who knows?" And Mark Sanchez got stabbed a few times and pepper sprayed in the incident. And now the tide is turned on Mark Sanchez, and it seems like it was the aggressor, and he's the one that's going up to Shawshank. Fresh fish. Mark Sanchez coming to Shawshank in a bus. Fresh fish. Who you going to bet on? Who's your horse? Sorry, Fred, about your horse coming in last. How is that? How is fat ass doing that? This could be Mark Sanchez soon. Now, we study reality, so there are three possibilities here, the way I see it. Chuck P. again and again. I understand it could be completely cake in a lake. The whole thing could be fabricated. Mark Sanchez's planned and scheduled humiliation for whatever reason, whatever they did for him. Maybe he did a proverbial deal with the devil, that sort of thing, to get the fame and fortune. And he said, we're going to have to ruin you on the back. He said, "I don't care, for at least for a short-term period of time. I want to be relevant." It could be completely cake in a lake, but part of his scheduled and planned humiliation. We've seen that before. Is it real? Doesn't know. A very small chance. And no, it could be real, but then even if it's real, it's fake. Real meaning it's just completely on its own. The Not Milk didn't know this was coming. It just happened the way you would just say bump into some guy selling bananas on the street or something and say, "I'm sorry, let me pick up the bananas for you." Just a random thing that could happen on a street corner, and the Not Milk didn't know about it. That's when something goes this big, then it's not milk planned. This is a 100% rule of how this reality works. So, but it could be, the not milk could be orchestrating it, where the 69-year-old, this is even if it's real, it's fake. The 69-year-old driver believes that's what was. What do you mean these truth people are saying it's fake? It really happened to me, he could say, and I could still say, it could still be fake, sir. You're a driver, delivery driver of oils and vegetable oils and shit. I know it really you believe it really happened to you, but it's still fake. Like, he wouldn't understand what I'm saying, but you may. Mark Sanchez might say, I didn't expect to get into this confrontation. They might be so on the download where to those that participated in it, it's completely real, yet even others like us that see through reality may see it as fake, where the Not Milk knew in some way this was coming. Now, the download, the frequency, mind control, who knows? But it does sniff to me of either completely cake in a lake or it's the same thing, even if it's real and the parties involved believe in every bit of what they did or the side that they took, it's still fake because it is a planned and scheduled event coming from dark reality itself, because it has to keep the distractions coming. In terms of, again, completely real, Not Milk didn't know this was going to happen. It just as random as just driving over a pothole with your car unexpectedly as you turned a corner. No, this is anything that blows up this big couldn't possibly be 100% natural and organic. But in terms of getting to the bottom of what it actually is, it doesn't matter. There's an element of fake. As usual, that's all we need to see. And the most important thing, it's just another element of screen reality trying to draw us in, like the siren song from the Rocks. That's all it does all the time. And if you know this and you're thinking I'm being repetitive, then don't be radio. Graduate from the 11th grade. Go ahead, graduate. I try to keep it funny for the old guard. Of course, we're gonna learn the same lessons about Not Milk tactics over and over and over again. They're supposed to have something completely unique and different 5 days a week. Now let us go to the real and legitimate news brought to us by CNN. Government shutdown causes air travel delays across the country, as they all do. This is a major theme whenever they do a government shutdown. They have to impose pain on the people. Contrived pain, planned pain, because nobody would give a shit about a government shutdown if it didn't cause some people some pain. Is Valley Forge Park closed? If I go out there, it is 20 minutes away. If I go down to Valley Forge Park, I'm sure it's going to be closed. And if I go in there, I could be arrested. But we're the people. We own everything. Right? It's the people. They told us in elementary school the people own everything. I could go down there and be arrested. Maybe that'll be your final act, Matt. Someday, a few years from now, you'll go down and walk onto Valley Forge Park during a government shutdown, and they can just your last video, they can show you putting your hands behind your back, being arrested. They have to impose pain, or nobody would give a shit about this government shutdown charade, let's just say. I checked also, Duluth and Dubuque are still doing just fine. And look at to the right. Look at to the right. Look at it to the right. Oh, my Lord. Taylor Swift's engagement ring stuns Jimmy Fallon. Wait a second. Who's that degenerate? Not Jason Kelce. That's the brother that's now more famous. Travis Kelce. She's actually going to marry that degenerate. I know he's still playing. He said he was going to retire. He can't even catch a ball or something now. He's just 1 year from being completely washed up. And Taylor Swift is going to marry Travis Kelce? Ew! I kind of like Frank. He was kind of cute. Ew! Look, see how they would make her up? I didn't see her on Jimmy Fallon, but they make her up to look so. They probably put an AI wash over her face. It's probably not even her. They can put. It was about 12 or even 14 years ago. It was the anchor of ABC News. It's like Jane Pauley or something. I forget her name, but she said, "You can't show me." This is true. This is not a joke. You can't show me in HD. They put some sort of blur on her face to make her look good. Now, what they can do with the AI. Taylor Swift, what they're showing with Jimmy Fallon, I mean, she looks all cute, whatever. It might not even be her. I mean, it is her, but like there's a complete AI makeover where if you're Travis Kelce, really kind of, she's not very attractive, Taylor Swift, if you look closely. Waking up in a Beijing hotel room after a late night concert, I'm sure there's several nights Travis Kelce rolled over and went, "Ew, Matt, you wouldn't kick him." This is breaking down, I know, but no, I would not. I would have no interest whatsoever in Taylor Swift. I thought she was rather ugly and homely 10 years ago. Guys, let me just apologize to anybody that may be new here. This next segment may seem like I believe that these sorts of headlines are completely real, and the conflicts in the world come up and are produced organically on their own. Of course, anybody that's been here for a week or two knows I don't believe that. So just understand that before we start. It says, Gaza ceasefire talks underway as Israel marks anniversary of October 7th attack. Talks. There's still, what is that from Jerry Maguire? Started talking to Dennis Wilborn today. You're talking. They're talking. Why don't, there was an episode of Star Trek that made a lot of sense. And I'll get some of the details wrong, but basically this is the gist of what happened. It was Star Trek: The Next Generation. On a particular planet, the Federation came across. Two regimes were having this nasty war, but the Federation was all confused, and Jean-Luc Picard and Riker and shit were like, there's no damage. All the cities are completely functional. Nobody's hiding out. There are no bunkers. They said, no, we fight our wars in a simulation. We just put into the simulation what capabilities we'd have, what arsenal we have, our manpower, our training, and the simulation plays out how the battle would have gone, but then if a side loses 20,000 people, then they have to go off to these chambers, kind of like the last scene in, what was it called, Soylent Green, and they have to go into those chambers and go kaput. But he said, why should we destroy our cities? It made a lot of sense. The Star Trek, in the episode, they're like, why should we destroy our cities? Let's just fight it out in a simulation. They should do, we're tired of what's going on between Israel and Gaza and West Bank. We're all tired of it. What they should do is stop wrecking all the cities and blowing up the water pipes and shit. Just, if you can't fight it out in a simulation like they did in Star Trek, play Battleship or something. I'm not joking. Play a game of Monopoly or Clue. I don't know. If Israel has more capabilities, then they start with maybe hotels on Boardwalk and Baltic or something. They start with more pieces or more money. I don't know. Play Battleship. Do something. Just stop the endless nonsense. We're tired of it. And I need to end this video on a more reciteer note. We laugh a lot, but this is not a comedy channel. I mean, what's at stake here for our souls, our spirit, could potentially be very significant or dire, no matter what the no consequences people believe. At the end of the day, we have to remember this is a very spiritual battle against a hardcore, pipe hitting, ass kicking adversary. Okay, now this is another version of the concentric rings reality diagram. Was it TJ that did this for me? I forget. Send me an email or put in the comments whoever did this one. I apologize. I know something. Oh, it looks like an eye. I know we couldn't trust this guy. It does look like an eye. Somebody pointed that out to me like the first 5 seconds of the first time I ever showed it. Maybe it's okay it looks like an eye. Maybe all the things that as first grade through third grade truthers we've been taught to fear and run from. Oh, the 33! Run away, the 33! Maybe these are just part of the reality. The Knock has taken these things over for themselves, and they don't want us dabbling in it. I don't care what the Knock puts forth. The 33 is a power number of this reality. They don't own it. The 9 paired with the 11, they use it in a weird, creepy-ass way. I'm not going to run from it. The eye, I'm not going to run from it. So I don't care. Maybe this was intentionally made to look like an eye. Maybe that tells me there's more truth in the legitimacy of the diagram. But to end this, the heart-based center reality, of course, is trying to be invaded by the screen outer ring reality, not milk, asshole, dark, lots of different names for it. One hand reaches in to grasp the other hand, and to me, they're like two separate realities. The difference between the not milk today in 2025 in terms of its abilities, skills, capabilities versus what it was in 1965 or 1980 is it's much more adept and much more skilled at bringing in its bullshit from the outer ring into the heart center reality bubble of real people, where maybe it had to work for weeks to set up news stories in the past or whatever Watergate was or whatever. It can do it just in immediately with its Mark Sanchez type news stories or its Taylor Swift's or its conflicts in this part of the world or that. It can bring this is where it is skilled versus what it was 50 to 100 years ago. It can bring its bullshit from the outer ring, which remember has no substance, which is blurry, which has no form. It needs the creative spiritual being. It can bring its bullshit into reality much more quickly. And that's why we're seeing this endless flood of nonsense. And it's going to keep turning the dial up as long as the same amount of people or the huge amounts are still very satisfied on the ship of fools. I don't think some would say we're being used. I say this a lot, of course. We have been used. We are still used to a degree. But the worry about yourself philosophy, that is something I assure you the Not Milk doesn't like. But, the truth community in general, of course, is still used in terms of bringing all the conspiracy and all its endless junk into reality that comes from the outer layer or the outer screen. Do we do it here at this channel? I'm sure we're not perfect. I'm sure there's some things, but I'm aware of it. And overall, no. Yeah, I told you about the Mark Sanchez story. I would have never heard about that, Matt, so you're bringing that into my reality. Well, what am I supposed to do? I mean, overall, we learn important lessons. I think we come out the other side better off. Even though I do present some things that you could call not milk screen exercises or screen news stories, overall, in terms of what I'm trying to express to the 5th grade truther here or the 10th grade truther, overall, we come out better off in terms of these presentations. Or you'd like just a presentation of this. That was literally, I'm not even joking, Pootie Tang's song. It's Mark Sanchez. Chris Rock said, Pootie don't need no words. Pootie don't need no music. Matt, because what Matt says could be something that the Not Milk actually wants to push. Matt, from here on, there ain't going to be no words. There ain't going to be no music. There ain't going to be no video. There's just going to be this. I hope you like that because that's what's coming. Thanks for listening.